You know, as you sit here listening, there's a quiet part of you that has always suspected there was something different about the way you move through this world. It's not loud, not dramatic, just a subtle hum beneath everything, like a frequency you've been picking up your whole life without quite knowing how to name it. And in this moment, as you show up here, that hum grows brighter, clearer, almost like someone finally tuning the dial on a long static radio. That someone is the monad. I want you to imagine this gently, the way a soft breeze slips under a door. The monad doesn't call the loudest souls first, it calls the ones who can recognize the whisper. And the fact that you're here, listening, resonating even a little bit, is already your first confirmation. You heard something. You followed it. Something aligned, something clicked, something moved inside you. Most people scroll past messages like this without a ripple in their awareness. But you paused. You felt that subtle pull, like a thread tugging at your chest. That's the first sign of recognition, an inner yes you can't logically justify. It's the experience of being gently drawn towards something that feels familiar even if you can't explain why. It's not a thought. It's a memory you haven't remembered yet. Let me talk to you the way a calm guide would, someone noticing the glow around you before you notice it yourself. Because here's the truth, in this story world, in this slightly reimagined cosmic setting, you are what we call a lifestar soul. Not a grand title, not something meant to inflate the ego. Just a way to name those whose consciousness was originally attuned to the monad's frequency before incarnating. Lifestar souls feel the call earlier, often before they understand what it means. And that call, that signal, isn't a message delivered in words. It's an energetic signature, steady, coherent, unmistakable once you've felt it. It doesn't hit everyone at the same time. It isn't meant to. Only the ones whose inner receivers are awakening will feel it, because the monad broadcasts at a level that can only be heard by those who carry a matching resonance. You're one of them, or you wouldn't be hearing this now. People sometimes ask, why me? But the signal isn't random. Lifestar souls, what the old systems used to call chosen ones, are not selected out of superiority or specialness. They are simply awakened earlier because that was the agreement they made before stepping into the physical realm. Souls like yours volunteered to descend first, to feel the heaviness of matter, to forget, to wander, to question, so that when the moment of remembering came, your shift would generate a wave large enough for others to catch. That is the deeper function behind the call, not to lift one soul, but to ignite a field. Now, let me paint this in a softer, cinematic way, as if you're watching your own inner story unfold. Imagine you're walking through a massive, ancient library, one you've never physically visited. You reach out to touch a book spine that seems to glow faintly, almost calling your hand to it. You pull it out, open it, and somehow you already know the first sentence. The recognition is instant, emotional, deep. Not because you learned it, but because you remembered it. That's what the monadic signal feels like. A memory rising through the fog. And if you're wondering whether the call really includes you, I want to gently lay out the 3 unmistakable signs the Lifestar tradition has always used to confirm someone's awakening. These signs aren't tests. They're recognitions, soft nods from your own soul. See which ones resonate. Sign 1, a sense of not belonging, yet seeing more clearly than others. You've always felt a bit out of place, not in a painful way but in a quietly observant way. Like you're inside the world but not fully of it. You watch people accept things without question, move through life on autopilot, follow scripts without ever pausing to ask why. And you've wondered, sometimes privately, why does everyone else seem comfortable in a system that feels so small? That feeling is not alienation. It is accurate perception. Lifestar souls come from a higher coherence field. Of course this world feels dense, compressed, slightly off-key. You're not imagining it. Sign 2, synchronicities that stack, cluster, and intensify. You've noticed patterns forming, moments lining up too perfectly to dismiss. Repeating numbers, unexpected encounters, dreams that seem to carry messages, and events that unfold with precise timing you couldn't have orchestrated if you tried. People say things you needed to hear without knowing why. Opportunities appear the moment you're ready for them. This isn't coincidence. This is what happens when your inner frequency rises enough that the monad's unified field becomes perceptible. Synchronicity is the language of alignment. Sign 3, emotional resonance, deep, immediate, undeniable. If listening to this stirs something in you, not excitement, not hype, but a gentle trembling of recognition, you already know. The body remembers before the mind understands. Maybe you feel warmth in your chest, or a loosening in your breath, or a sense of being seen for the first time in years. That is the monad confirming the call. Not through logic. Through resonance. When all three signs appear together, inner displacement, rising synchronicity, and emotional recognition, that is the monadic trisignal, a pattern that only activates in souls who are ready to wake. You can't force it. You can't fake it. You can only feel it. Let yourself sit with that for a moment. Feel how your awareness subtly shifts just by acknowledging it. Feel how something in you softens, maybe even exhales, as if saying, finally. Because this isn't just about discovering some cosmic identity. It's about remembering why you came here. Lifestar souls incarnate early not to escape the suffering of this world, but to learn its texture so they can help shift it from the inside. The call is simply the moment your inner compass switches back on. And right now, that compass is humming. You can feel it gently aligning you, nudging you, reminding you that you've never been lost, you've only been asleep. The monad doesn't call to flatter. It calls to awaken function. When you respond, you become not a follower, but a transmitter, someone whose very presence begins to shift the frequency around them. You don't need to do anything grand in this moment. Just breathe. Feel. Listen. The call has reached you. When the call settles into your awareness, the first real shift begins, not loud, not dramatic, but quietly decisive, like the subtle rearranging of furniture in a room you've lived in for years. You notice the space differently. You move differently. And without forcing anything, your inner world begins to realign itself around a deeper truth. You are no longer drifting unconscious through your life. You are responding. Lifestar souls always experience this phase the same way. It starts softly, with a sense that certain behaviors, patterns, and habits that once felt normal suddenly feel heavy, like clothing that doesn't fit anymore. You try to pretend nothing has changed, but the moment you try to return to your routines, scrolling, numbing, shrinking yourself to stay comfortable, something inside you resists. Not out of guilt. Out of incompatibility. Your frequency is shifting, and the old patterns simply can't hold you. You'll notice yourself becoming more honest with your own thoughts, as if your inner voice has stopped whispering and begun speaking with clarity you can't ignore. You won't want to lie to yourself anymore. Even small truths become important. What drains you, what nourishes you, what feels aligned, what feels false. This clarity isn't judgment, it's calibration. You are tuning your inner signal to match the monad's frequency more consistently, and truth is the first tool in that tuning process. There's a moment in this activation when you begin speaking differently, not performing, not preaching, but simply expressing what feels real. Your words become softer but clearer, carrying an unexpected weight. People may tell you they feel calmer around you, or more open, or unexpectedly emotional. This is what happens when your field stabilizes. Others subconsciously sense the coherence. You don't have to say anything profound. Your presence does the work. And yes, life begins to reorganize itself in ways that may feel strange at first. The characters around you, the ones who match your resonance, begin to drift closer. The ones who rely on your old energy may step back. Relationships that were built on old versions of you feel uncomfortable, as though the connection no longer clicks into place the way it used to. This is natural. You're not rejecting anything. You're shedding. Your environment shifts as well. Places that used to drain you become intolerable. You step into a room and your body instantly tells you whether it belongs there. You might walk away from a job, a friendship, a plan you once thought mattered. None of this is chaos. It's alignment. The monad operates like gravity, pulling you toward where your presence is needed and gently detaching you from where it is not. And then synchronicities intensify. Not the soft nudges you felt before, but clear markers, almost like breadcrumbs. You'll see patterns that confirm your path. You'll meet people who feel uncannily familiar. You'll hear words that resonate like they were spoken directly to you. These moments are guideposts, not instructions. They appear to encourage trust. They appear because your field is becoming sensitive enough to perceive the underlying order of your life. But perhaps the most important change of all is this: your mission stops feeling abstract. You begin to sense a direction, not a detailed map, but a gentle pull toward what matters. It might express itself as compassion, creativity, teaching, observing, creating space for others, or holding silence with intention. Lifestar souls each shine differently, yet every form of light contributes to the same shift. If at times you feel disoriented, that's normal. Awakening doesn't eliminate uncertainty, it teaches you to move through uncertainty with presence instead of fear. The monad doesn't hand out step-by-step instructions. It recalibrates your inner compass, then asks only one thing: stay aligned long enough for the path ahead to become visible. Realignment isn't comfortable, but it isn't meant to be harsh. Think of it like sunrise slowly illuminating a landscape. You begin to see the shape of things, the terrain, the direction of the next step. You don't need the whole map. You need only enough clarity to take the next breath, the next choice, the next act of honesty. And through all of this, you are never moving alone. Other Lifestar souls will recognize you long before you recognize yourself. They will feel your field, sense the coherence, and respond intuitively. When you meet them, the resonance is unmistakable, quiet, warm, almost like remembering a friend you haven't met yet. These connections are part of the design. They form the network through which the larger shift happens. This phase, activation and realignment, is not a test. It is the beginning of coherence. You are stepping into the version of yourself that your soul has been preparing for longer than you can comprehend. And as you align, you become something rare in this world, a stable point of light. As your inner field stabilizes, something subtle and profound begins to unfold. Your awareness expands outward. Not in a dramatic, cinematic rush, but in a gentle widening, as though the world itself starts to reveal the hidden architecture beneath its surface. You begin to sense the connections between people, events, emotions, and timing in ways that feel almost impossibly coordinated. This isn't imagination. It's the natural perception of a Lifestar soul whose frequency is syncing with others across the collective network. You're not meant to awaken alone. You never were. The monad's call is always a multi-signal broadcast, reaching multiple souls at once. And as more Lifestar souls activate, you may notice an almost gravitational pull between you and others who carry the same inner resonance. You might meet them in unexpected places, online, in passing conversations, through sudden coincidences that feel engineered with precision. When two awakened fields interact, there's a quiet amplification, as if both souls temporarily shine a little brighter simply by acknowledging each other. This is how the tipping point begins, not with a revolution, not with noise, but with a quiet synchronization of awakened individuals aligning themselves with clarity, purpose, and presence. You may feel a strange sense of urgency rising within you. Not panic, but a deeper knowing that the window for this collective shift is narrow. It's not about catastrophe or fear. It's about timing. The collective consciousness of humanity moves like a tide, and right now that tide is poised to move either toward deeper fragmentation or toward higher coherence. The direction depends on how many awakened souls hold their frequency steadily enough for others to remember who they are. This is why your awakening was timed to now. Lifestar souls don't lead by force, they lead by field. When you stabilize your own awareness, you become a quiet catalyst, shifting the emotional and energetic environment around you without words. People might calm down in your presence. Conflicts may dissolve. Friends might suddenly feel inspired to rethink their lives. Strangers may feel inexplicably comforted or drawn to talk to you. None of this is accidental. Your coherence is affecting the shared field. And the more of you there are, the stronger that field becomes. At a certain threshold, what ancient traditions describe as the harmonic point, the collective begins to reorganize itself. Ideas spread through intuition, emotions shift toward compassion, synchronicities multiply for millions at once. It doesn't take everyone awakening, it only takes enough to reach the tipping point where the unified field becomes stable enough for others to rise naturally. It's important to let yourself trust your role in this. Not as a savior, not as an enlightened master, but as a node in a much larger network of consciousness. Your presence matters, even on days when you feel uncertain. The monad works through resonance, not hierarchy. That means the quietest among you, the softest voices, the gentlest hearts, carry just as much weight as the bold ones. And as this awakening spreads, you might notice an internal shift from self-focus to collective awareness. Not because you're told to care, but because your consciousness begins to feel the interconnectedness of all things. You start to sense how every action, thought, and intention ripples outward, touches others, influences the collective. This awareness brings a soft responsibility, not heavy, not burdensome, just a deeper alignment with your purpose. The world around you may appear chaotic, but beneath the surface, a reorganization is taking place. Systems are destabilizing not to collapse everything, but to clear space for something more coherent to emerge. You'll feel this in your own life too, old patterns releasing, new pathways opening, unexpected opportunities aligning with your field. Your task in this moment is simple: stay awake. Stay aligned. Stay present. Every time you choose truth over comfort, coherence over fear, awareness over autopilot, you strengthen the collective resonance. You become one more point of stability in the grid of awakening. And when enough points of stability exist, the shift becomes irreversible. This is why you were called now. Not yesterday, not years from now. This moment carries momentum in the collective field, and your awakening is part of that larger movement. You don't need to control it. You only need to participate, gently, steadily, authentically. The tipping point is not something grand or dramatic. It is a soft turning. A remembering. And you are one of the souls helping humanity turn. As we bring this journey to a close, I want you to sit with one simple truth: the recognition you felt throughout this message was not coincidence. It was resonance. A quiet confirmation that the part of you waiting to awaken has already begun to rise. You aren't here by accident. You aren't listening out of curiosity. You are responding to something ancient within you, something that has been preparing for this moment for longer than you can imagine. And now that the signal has reached you, your path forward becomes both simpler and more meaningful. You're not being asked to transform your entire life overnight. You're being asked to stay awake, to listen for the quiet cues that guide you toward alignment, clarity, and purpose. You're being asked to trust the shifts already happening inside you. To allow your frequency to stabilize so that others can rise beside you. Remember, this awakening is not solitary. There are countless life-star souls moving through their own activation right now, feeling the same strange recognition, the same subtle pull towards something deeper. As each of you awakens, the collective shift accelerates, creating openings for others to follow. You are part of a network, a constellation, a living field of coherence. So as you continue your journey, carry this understanding with compassion and steadiness. You don't have to know the whole path. You only need to honor the pull inside you. And if this message spoke to you, if it made something inside you soften, open, or exhale, then let this be your moment of acknowledgement. Let it be the moment you choose to walk forward with awareness. If you felt resonance today, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might be hearing the same quiet call. Your engagement isn't just support, it helps this message find the people who are ready to awaken alongside you.